time to chop some wood again.
We're gonna chop up some wood. We're gonna make some test furring strips, and then we're also gonna chop up some of the insulation for our thermal bridge to see if we can start working on the ceiling.
Managing our bus build means we always have multiple projects happening. That's why earlier this spring, we cut down some wood to test out how we might make our furring strips.
After doing quite a bit of research, we decided we would use 6-inch furring strips so we'd have plenty of area to attach our ceiling planks. One thing we wanted to make sure and do is make a thermal break between the actual metal beams of the roof and our furring strips. And what that thermal break does is it actually stops heat or cold from conducting through and passing into the next material. To try to make a thermal bridge with this leftover insulation. Now my original thought was to buy a 2-inch and just slice a little thin area off, but we've got this 1-inch for free, so we're gonna see how far it compresses down if we just cut a little 2-inch section. So this should give us enough to figure out if it's gonna work.
Isn't it too thick?
It sure feels like it.
Oh, yeah. Maybe those can be used, because you're also doing them this way, aren't you? Or only this way? Only that way. Yeah, I think they're too thick. Sounded like the wood cracked.
Well, it did just then. I think what we might have to do is do that like that. So we're gonna do it shorter. And then we'll just have to do a separate piece right here. It curves a little. All right, we're gonna try to do it as 4 pieces and see if it works. 1 here, 1 here, 1 across here, and 1 here. So let's cut this down and see if it'll work. We realized that by breaking up the furring strips and leaving gaps between them, we would have a place to run wiring if we needed it.
Like it needs to be pulled up in the middle here because it's still going like.
Yeah.
Like that?
Oh, that's not gonna work. Okay, we can just let it come down all the way. Like right now, I think if we only go to here, then we can put one down right down the center only.
This is not enough time. We had to make a new plan. We want to try and make do of the insulation we have. We figured out a different way to cut it. We've glued 2 pieces of it down on the wood so that it is thinner, less for the screw to have to go through, and more often.
Yeah, hopefully that'll work as a thermal break.
Have space between the metal everywhere?
It doesn't right here.
Yeah.
But what I think the best thing to do is put 4, 1 on the edges, and then 2 towards the center. So we use a little more screws. And I'm here with the inspector today to see how it's going. Inspector, can you tell us a little bit about what you think the integrity of the bus is?
Our revised plan got 2 paws up from the inspector, so Don started to cut down the insulation.
So now I need to figure out how many of these we need. 3 per long board, 1 per short corner board.
71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76.
That's great news.
So I said such good news.
Because that means we're almost done cutting.
Um, 11, 96, 97, 98, 99, 14, 15, 16.
Still some more.
Oh, I lost count.
Then we cut down our furring strips from scrap 1/2-inch plywood. We got it all cut.
We did it.
And now...
We're getting better at cutting wood.
Yeah.
Go team.
Huge thanks to everyone who pointed out our error in how to use the table saw. We've got it we got a big concrete block now. It doesn't wobble on us.
But we learn.
Yes, learning on the job. But now it's gonna rain,
Yeah,
so
it's about to rain, so we better get this wood inside real quick.
We also used a chalk line to give us an exact center so that we would not only know where the insulation would glue down and be centered, but also we'll be able to see from the other side when we put it up where we're going to screw in. So,
How did you like Don's shaking the cocktails on? That's a chalk string.
it's gonna go with my dance class this week.
From Don. Yes, you're gonna do the lasso, shaking the cocktail.
That's getting the chalk on the chalk line.
Yeah, but it looks like you're
Wasn't there another one?
Oh, yes. Never mind. With the furring strips marked, we were ready to cut them down to size. Then glue the insulation that will act as our thermal break. We were all set to start installing our furring strips when we discovered an issue. That little drip, when it rains hard, drips a lot of water all over here. It sidetracked us for a couple of hours.
We later find out that this is pretty common for our model of bus, an MCI D3, to have a leak at the door when it's parked facing downhill.
We added a window weather strip to the top of the door, and we are hoping that stops the leak.
Finally ready to install the furring strips, we enlisted my dad to help us out.
It was really helpful to have 3 sets of hands. We did start to have a problem on some of the beams. We had left on, there's like a rubbery glue or tape that was on some of the beams, and we left it on thinking it wouldn't be a big deal.
It seems to raise up just enough so that our screws wouldn't be long enough, so some places we'd have to stop and cut that tape because it just adds another 1/8 of an inch, and we really need that to get the good bite with the wood to metal screws.
With one side of the curved strips up, we had a pretty good method down, and were able to finish the other side quickly. The bus is nice and cool today. We got the aircon going before we started work, and that is key. Yeah, the center, it's flat. It's not round, so with the help of the jack, we're doing pretty good. The center ones at the very front, the beams are actually a different level than the rest of the bus. They're a little higher up because the front was built differently. So Don just had to add a little extra foam board in there.
Operation Furring Strip is 98% complete.
There's only 2 furring strips we didn't put up right at the front because there's a lot of wiring there that still needs to be sorted out, and we decided, oh, if we put these furring strips up, we're gonna make it hard to access those wires. Don's gonna spend some time figuring out what wires can come out, which wires came from. The TVs that the bus used to have.
The
what was there? Like
reading
reading
lights,
lights,
the
yeah.
speaker system. There was so many wires up in there.
So those can all come out, but we gotta figure out what's what and make sure we don't take out the wrong wires.
We're feeling really good about using 1/2-inch plywood and 1/4-inch insulation for our furring strips and thermal break. Should not only help us fasten our ceiling securely into those furring strips, but that thermal break will definitely keep that heat from conducting into our living space.
Did you know there are like 40 different kinds of whites?
40? There's like 100.
We went to the hardware store and picked up every single swatch of a white color, and we're gonna pick a white color for our walls and ceiling. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna lay down some of our vinyl planks for our flooring down to kind of take a look at what white will go best with our flooring.
Okay, I didn't do that. Okay. How many do we get?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a tiebreaker. How did we do that? But we'll share that with you next time.